All right, guys, got this big package here from Heritage in today. This is several auctions on one of their most recent Sunday, Monday, Tuesday auction. We're going to go through this. Probably going to split this into two videos, but stick around. We'll get through the first part of it, and we'll see you in a few. All right, guys, just a reminder, still have the giveaway going. We are still giving away the X-Men 1. If this happens to be gone by the time this video comes out, we'll have another giveaway, so you're not going to miss out. Just leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. There's a lot of books, like I said, are in the intro. I'm going to split this into two just because there's so many. So we're going to start off with just the obligatory X-Men. So I got a CGC graded X-Men 51 in an 8.5. This is a gap filler. It's the first appearance of Eric the Red, who later on becomes, you find out later that he's Scott and Alex Summers' dad, Havoc and Cyclops. So X-Men 8.5 from 1968, pretty solid there. Again, this is a gap filler for me. I like getting the higher ones, 8.5 and above, so that's a good fill. These next ones, there's a bunch, so just bear with me. I'm going to open these as we go. This first lot I bought just because I like these. Anytime I get weird, not common stuff, I usually try and pick them up. I have some of the Mighty mini comics, X-Men Mighty mini comic, or Marvel Mighty mini comics that are like that big, just because they're neat to have. So these are all foreign edition comics. So this is Super Comic. You can see right there, this is a small book. I believe this is Spanish. Looks like there's an ad on the back of it for a soccer player, a little cutout, like a mystery stamp or a Marvel value stamp. Inside here, it's in color, which is surprising. Usually these are black and white. So again, it's just a cool pickup. Like I said, I like the foreign books. They're not easy to come by. Next up, this one's pretty cool. Also, I believe this is a Spanish version. It might be Mexican. Los Four Fantásticos. So the Fantastic Four. Again, this is I believe, like I said, a Spanish version. It cost, it's from the 14th of September, 1974. And I don't know how much it costs. It looks like it's number 8. So again, also in color, which is cool. A lot of times these foreign editions are all black and white. So Los Four Fantásticos. So that's pretty, like I said, it's unique. Our last one we got for the Spanish ones, or these are Mexican. This is it's 2 pesos, so it's definitely Spanish. Also from September 1974. El Sorprendente Hombre Arana. So the Spider-Man. I believe it might be the Spectacular Spider-Man. I think that's what El Sorprendente means. If I'm wrong, leave a comment. Let me know. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know. Again, in color, so that's good. 2 pesos, pretty cheap. Especially even in 1974, 2 pesos was really cheap. Looks like they had the Kung Fu magazine that they were advertising on the back for 5 pesos, but that was a bigger magazine style book. Next up, we're going to just flip through a lot of these. It's just a big lot of Fantastic Four books. I don't think there's any major keys. If I missed something, leave a comment and let me know. Especially P-Bales, your Fantastic Four. If you see something down there, see something here we go through that I missed, definitely let me know. These are all probably like in the fine range. So first off, Fantastic Four, number 95. This is probably a 6.0. I don't believe it's a key. 185. Again, 6.0 range, maybe 7.0. 192. I don't know when these switched to the direct version, so these are newsstands, but they may have only been newsstands there. That's 192. 198. Again, these are probably a little bit nicer. These are in the 8.0 range. 203. 207, it's the Whitman. You can see by the diamond up here, that's a Whitman variant. And that's a direct, looks like too. Let's see, 212 with Galactus on the cover. 213. There's 215. These are actually getting better quality as we go up. 219. I'd say these are probably in the 9.0 range. This one's a little off, maybe a 7.5, 8.0. There's some spine ticks at a glance. This is a newsstand. Occasionally they'll miss it and they'll put a Mark Jeweler stuff in here, so it's always good to check when you get newsstands in the 80s to see if they have the Mark Jewelers insert. So there's 228, 229, 230. Again, still all newsstands, and I'll go through all these in more detail. 231, 235. Looks like we got a anniversary edition. 236. So that's $1. That's pretty pricey back in the early 80s. A lot of kids can't afford $1. Back then, that was a lot of money. So 238. Guaranteed no Dr. Doom in the book, although he is on the cover. 240. 261. Nice Watcher cover. 263. Nice thing. I like that artwork. I'm not sure who the artist is on that, but I like that one. 277. 278. And then we get into the newer stuff. 387. This was a major in the 90s. The holofoil, die cut, embossed covers. Like every book that came out had that type of stuff. So tough thing with these, if you don't get them in good grade, it's almost impossible to press stuff like this because the heat will mess up this. And then it's actually, you can't see it, but it's actually indented, like embossed. So she's actually like glued on top of that or stuck on top of that. So if you tried to press it, you'd have a gap. There is one small color breaking sign take there. So definitely not a 9.8, but still, these are cool covers. Again, as a kid in the early 90s, I seen these all the time. Every other book had an embossed cover, a foil cover. They had the holographic foil, the acetate cover. They're kind of starting to do it again, like we're reliving the 90s, because I've seen a lot of that again now. But pretty cool book there, 387. So we'll get into this next lot. All right, now we're going to get into a nice big run of Fantastic Four. A few other things in here too. So first up, Fantastic Four, number 94. This is the first Agatha Harkness. So this is a pretty good copy. I'm probably going to send this off to CGC. I'm going to say this is, it's in the 6.5 range. It's not a major book, but it's pretty good. It's worth sending off to CGC and having it graded. Next up, number 95. This is the first monocle. It's not a huge key. It's by a minor key, but it's very, very clean. This is probably like a 9.0 copy. So I might send this one off to CGC. I'm going to look at it really good, really close, take a better peek at it and see what we see. Next one up. So there's two of these actually in this lot. So you can see there, two books. This is the first Nicholas Scratch and the first team appearance of the Witches of New Salem. If you watched the Agatha Harkness TV show, a lot of that TV show is based off kind of the stories in this book. So, you have Nicholas Scratch, who's a main character in the show, as well as the Witches of New Salem. It's the first team up of them. So neither one of these are great. I'd say they're probably 8.0s for a book in the late 70s. Yeah, I'll check them out, see what I think. I'm probably not going to send them off to CGC, but I might. Next up, this is Fantastic Four 238. It's a cool cover. Other than that, it's also the first origin of, or the original origin of Frankie Ray. And Dr. Doom, I believe, is actually not in this comic other than the cover. Next up, this is, 272. So this is the first Nathaniel Richards in a cameo. If you follow Fantastic Four, he actually fought Mephisto later on and split up into 6 parts or something like that. And then 2 of those parts got harnessed by Scarlet Witch, and that's how she made her kid. So a little different than the TV show, but that's the first appearance of Nathaniel Richards. So next up is 352. This is the second appearance of the TVA, so the Time Variance Authority. If you've watched Loki or some of the Deadpool Wolverine, they have the TVA, and then it's also the first appearance of the Minutemen, who are the main characters that are chasing after Deadpool in the movie, and really prominent in the Loki series. Again, probably an 8.0 book. I won't be a CGC book. The next book up, this one's a pretty good one. This is Fantastic Four Annual number 5. This one probably will go to CGC. It's the first appearance of Psycho Man, but what's bigger than that, it's the first solo Silver Surfer story that was ever told. This is a really good looking book. I'm going to say it's tough on square bounds, but I'm going to say it's probably in the 8.0 range, possibly 8.5. So I'm going to go through it, give it a nice press. I'm pretty good with square bounds, so we'll clean it up and press it. Send that one off to CGC. All right, next up, this is Ultimate Fantastic Four 21. If you were a comic book fan at this time, just like they're doing now, there was a bunch of Ultimate lines. This is the Greg Land variant. That's based off the this character here was the movie version of Reed Richards, and this one here is the comic book version from the original Fantastic Four movie. This is the first cameo appearance of the Marvel Zombies. I think it was just in this one. It was just the Fantastic Four, and they're on like the last page. But you know, the Marvel Zombies got really big. They're in the animated series on Disney Plus. So that was the first cameo. This is the first full appearance. This also will probably go to CGC. This is a really nice high grade book, probably a 9.8 candidate. A bunch of different characters, a bunch of different zombie, not just Fantastic Four. He had like other characters, Spider-Man, X-Men. There was a bunch of them in here, and this was the first appearance of all of those zombie versions. Again, this is a really crisp looking book. I'd say definitely a 9.8 candidate, so that'll probably go off to CGC. All right, moving on. Annihilation Conquest Wraith. This is a one-shot, I believe. So this is the first appearance of Wraith. So pretty cool character. He's a Skrull, and this was the first appearance of him. The cover's that's a really great cover too. I don't know who the artist was on this, but I really like that cover. It's really, really well done. It's almost like a modern Frank Frazetta, but like modernized. So really cool there. Another Annihilation Conquest. This is number 6. So a lot of people don't know this, but this is the first new Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the Guardians of the Galaxy from the movie. So Rocket, Star-Lord, Gamora, all those, you know, the main characters that you know. And I think also Adam Warlock and Quasar were also on that new team. But this is where they got the team for the movie at, was out of this series, or the team that's the Guardians in this series is the same team as on the movies. So yeah, not a common book. You don't see this book very often. Again, 9.8 candidate. Might send that one off to CGC as well. You can see like there's some, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a lot of like scuffing and stuff. That's all in these bags. These all definitely need new bags. All right, next book. We've talked about this one before, Amazing Fantasy 1. This is the first Anya Cortez. This book was real big before the Madam Web movie, and then died after the Madam Web movie. Not a hard book to pick up, but still desirable for Spider-Man fans. You know, she's a fairly key character. Not a great book I'm going to send off. This is probably like a 9.2, so it's not really worth sending. But still a good first appearance. Next book up, Black Panther. I believe this is the 3rd series. So in this book, this is when Shuri becomes the Black Panther. So if you saw the last movie, Shuri became the Black Panther. If you didn't, sorry, I just ruined it for you. Probably gonna send this one off too, just because it does demand a little bit. The last movie to me was not very good. I did see they just announced Namor's going to be in the Secret Wars, I think, movie. So they announced a bunch of characters that were going to be in that, including some of the original X-Men, which is cool as an X-Men guy, you know. Next one. This is Blink number 4. This is the first cameo appearance of Nocturne. So, again, not a book you see very often. Probably a 9.8 candidate. Probably going to go to CGC. I think Nocturne has a future in comics. I think that character will get a little more desirable. All right. Next book up, Cable and Deadpool number 50. This is the last issue. This is the first Venom pull. So if you've seen any of the Venomized, you know, covers and stuff, Venom pull, this was his first appearance. What a lot of people don't know about this book too is this is a very early Scotty Young cover. So it's not like what you see now with the childlike characters. This was before he kind of started doing that stuff. You can definitely see his style when you see the cover. It's definitely his kind of style, but you don't see a lot of books like this that he's done. Probably again a CGC book. I'll look at it, make sure if it looks like a 9/8 candidate, I'm probably going to send that one off. All right, Spider-Man Unlimited. It's the first Shriek. It has a little bit of value, but what's really good about this one is this is a newsstand and it's a 9/8 candidate. So you don't see a lot of these in newsstand that are in good shape. They're usually beat up pretty bad. Again, I'll look at it and see what I think. Next up, I always love this book every time I see it. I was a huge Beavis and Butthead fan when they came out in the early 90s. I was a young teenager. Really enjoyed it. You know, this is probably not a 9/8 candidate. Well, I don't know, it might be. I'll look at it. I might take this to C2E2 and get Rick Parker to sign it. He usually comes to C2E2. He did the cover art on this. And he did, I think, all the Beavis and Butthead. I think he might have worked on the cartoons as well. So yeah, Beavis and Butthead number 1. All right, next book up. So Fables. Fables is one of those, a lot of people collect it and you don't ever really see them. The Fables books themselves are based on like traditional fable, like childhood fables. And the characters got kicked out of that fable world and they live like in the real world and deal with real world stuff. So these are really tough to find, especially issue 1. You don't see this book very often in the wild. Definitely a 9/8 candidate. Even if it isn't a 9/8, I'm still going to have this one sent to CGC. I'll probably take this to C2E2 and drop it off. There's a little bit of staple tears around the UPC that might ding it. But like I said, even if it's a 9/6 or a 9/4, I'm still probably going to have it graded. All right, last one in this group. So this is John Constantine, Hellblazer, number 1. So this is the first John Constantine ongoing series. Again, tough to find this in high grade. This one will also go to CGC. Pretty good book. Probably a 9/6. I doubt it's going to get a 9/8. I definitely think it's probably a 9/6. I really like the cover art. I can't remember who did the art, but it's the same guy who did the Sandman stuff. So pretty good looking book. All right, guys. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to do this in 2 parts. I got another big stack. I don't want to keep you here too long. A lot of people, you know, start to fade out after 5, 6, 7 minutes. So turn on your notifications, leave a comment, like, all that good stuff. Turn on notifications, you'll know when the next video of this is coming out. Part 2 will be the next video up, probably 3 or 4 days. Like I said, I am going to C2E2, so if you're heading that way, hit me up. You know, drop me a note below. We'll meet up, say hi. You know, you got anything cool you want me to look at, let me know. And then don't forget, leave a comment, be entered for the giveaway. So we'll see you guys around part 2.